Winter Transcendence in Mussoorie. That morning, Mussoorie stirred into an ethereal silence, draped in an immaculate white mantle, woven by fresh snow during the frost-bound night. Rohan treaded alone along the deserted path, the crystalline powder crunching beneath his rhythmic stride while the razor-sharp air nipped at his exposed cheeks. In this isolated corner of the hill station, far removed from the cacophony of daily existence, he experienced a rare, profound serenity that only the absolute stillness of winter can evoke. Suddenly, his attention was arrested by a figure perched upon a solitary wooden bench, appearing almost to merge with the surrounding landscape. The man, clad in a heavy winter jacket and a distinctive blue woolen cap pulled low over his brow, gazed intently at the majestic Himalayan panorama. Rohan was struck by a peculiar sensation of familiarity. Despite the biting cold, a surge of curiosity impelled him to bridge the distance and glimpse the stranger's countenance. The world seemed to cease its rotation the moment Rohan identified the face beneath the blue cap. It was Sachin, a man whose name in India was synonymous with divinity. He sat there in total tranquility, devoid of the customary entourage of bodyguards or frenetic admirers, stripped of all pomp. This utter absence of ostentation in a figure of such colossal global significance fascinated Rohan, triggering a deep reflection on the fleeting nature of fame compared to the eternal endurance of the mountains. Although gripped by a paralyzing bashfulness, Rohan summoned the resolve to puncture the sacred silence, addressing the legend in a quiet, slightly tremulous voice. Sachin looked up, his face illuminated by a kind, genuine smile that instantaneously dissipated the younger man's tension. As they shook hands, Rohan felt a firm grasp that uniquely fused the strength of a champion with the humility of a man who had never severed ties with his roots. "It is truly a breathtaking morning, wouldn't you agree?" Sachin remarked with an effortless ease, as though conversing with a long-standing acquaintance. Their dialogue bypassed the predictable topics of records or stadiums, focusing instead on the mundane beauties of winter in Mussoorie and the scarcity of silence in today's clamorous world. Rohan was astonished by how naturally this icon communicated, entirely shed of any starry mannerisms, revealing a deeply human core. In a sudden burst of candidness, Rohan confessed that Sachin had been his lifelong inspiration, a revelation met with the unexpected warmth of a paternal embrace. In that moment, the boundary between myth and reality dissolved. Rohan realized that true greatness resides not in one's accolades, but in how one treats others when the world is not watching. It was a moment of sheer human connection, indelibly etched into his consciousness. "Might I trouble you for a photograph, so this moment doesn't slip through my fingers like melting snow?" Rohan requested hopefully. Sachin laughed heartily and nodded with genuine willingness, leaning in as they framed themselves before the phone's lens. This digital relic, with the jagged, snow-dusted peaks looming in the background, became for Rohan a symbol of encountering the purest form of human modesty. The tranquil atmosphere was suddenly punctuated by the voices of Rohan's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Khanna, who were approaching down the path, their eyes searching for their son with a hint of parental trepidation. Upon spotting Rohan in an animated discussion with a stranger in a blue cap, they quickened their pace, driven by an instinctive vigilance common in these inhospitable high-altitude regions. They were entirely unaware they were about to step into the presence of history. Upon their arrival, Mrs. Khanna froze in mute astonishment, her hand instinctively covering her mouth as she struggled to reconcile the reality before her. Sachin rose and, with the grace inherent to great souls, greeted them with a respectful namaste, immediately establishing an atmosphere of mutual regard. His conduct toward the parents was imbued with a traditional reverence that only underscored his immense inner refinement and cultural groundedness. After several minutes of polite conversation, Sachin bid the family farewell and began to recede into the white mist descending from the summits. Mr. Khanna placed a steadying hand on his son's shoulder as the three of them stood in silence, watching the fading silhouette of the man in the blue cap. They all understood that a true hero is defined not merely by his feats on the field, but by a quiet, indomitable modesty that shines far brighter than any gold medal.